Hello again, Internet. Today I want to show you kind of a neat feature in SolidWorks called configurations. And what this does is it allows you to have a single part that is multiple parts. So in this case I'm designing an M3 socket head screw. But there's multiple different lengths of M3 socket head screws. There's 20 or 30 of them. And I don't want 20 or 30 separate part files. I want one part file. And I could even go more extreme with this. I could have all the different sizes of metric screws all in one file, including the different head shapes and all that stuff. I could go really into depth, but I want to try to keep this relatively simple for you. So I made up this part, and how I made it is went on here, went under configuration specific. I put in these variables, and then I put in numbers to go with the variables. So all the features all the dimensions that control this part are in here, and I can change them by changing here. So like say I change that to 30, Control Q, change the thread length. And if we go over here, we've got configurations. Right now I only have one configuration, and I can add configurations one at a time and manually change them. Sometimes that's appropriate. But when you've got 20 or 30 different configurations, that's less ideal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Insert and Tables, and then Design Table. I'm going to set this to blank, click OK, and then this window is going to come up. And I'm going to select the configuration I already have, and then I'm going to select all the variables I added. Now these three things I don't want, but if I thought, maybe at some point in the future I want to add these in, I could check this box, and next time I open the design table, it'll ask me, hey, do you want to add them in now? But I don't want to add those in ever, so I'm just going to click OK. And it's going to generate a design table for me. And then it's going to be kind of up in the corner, so I'm going to stretch it out. And go like that. And I made this unwanted first instance, so I'm just going to delete it because I've got my default instance. And then I can go over here. This is just information I copied off McMasterCar's website. So I'm just going to copy things from here to there. Long, and diameter is always going to be 3. The part number is here. The pitch is always going to be 0.5, and my thread length is going to be that. Okay, so I've got everything in there. I'm just going to click over here. It's going to give me a thing saying, hey, got all these new configurations, ain't that special? And there they are. So I'm going to just select any one of them, doesn't matter which one. And then I'm just going to delete this default configuration because I don't need it anymore. Now when I press Control Q, it does that. Changes that. I don't want a 4mm, I want a 25mm. So I'm going to select 25mm. There we go. Too short still, 55mm. Now when I add this to an assembly, I can select which configuration I want. So if I'm in an assembly and I need a 4mm, I'll select the 4mm. If I need a 30, I'll select a 30. But I've got all those configurations in a single part now. Other things you can do with this is, let's say you wanted all the metric screws in the world in here, or at least all the common sizes. So you've got hex heads, and you've got socket heads, and you've got flat heads, and you name it. So you can design your part in that case so that you can disable or suppress certain things. So you might design a hex head and a socket head and a flat head, and then for the flat head screw you just disable the socket head and the hex head, or however you need to do to get the head you want on that particular screw. So you can have literally hundreds, thousands of configurations, although it gets a little messy adding them to the part if you got thousands of configurations in one part, because then you gotta scroll all the way down and try to find it. So generally I try to like stick with something relatively basic like this. So M3 socket head screw, then I'll have another part for M4, and then another part for M5, etc. But you could put them all in there if you really wanted to. So I'm gonna just save this, and like I said, now I can just select it, and I've got a different length screw. So that's basically all I've got for you today. If you got any questions, please post them down below. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, all the standard YouTube stuff, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.